Good evening. Thanks for joining us for this December 21st meeting. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. We're going to start with the invocation given by Councilmember McIntyre and a pledge to the flag. So if you could please stand.
We gather together here today intent on doing good work. We seek to represent fairly and well those who have given us this task. May our efforts be blessed with insight and guided by understanding and wisdom. May we always act in accordance with what is best for those who live and work in our beloved city of Hagerstown. Bless this meeting today, all those present, as well as the lives of those we will encounter afterward. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will be following the rules of procedure that was effective December 15th of 2020. Please make sure that your cell phones are silenced. Any correspondence for distribution to elected officials should be provided to our city clerk and should include a copy for the city clerk. Our meeting schedule for January will be as follows. January 4th, we have no meeting. January 11th and 18th, we have a work sessions at 4 p.m. And January 25th, our regular session at 7 p.m. First today, we have citizen comments.
I'll go.
Yeah, he's out.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So earlier today, through 5 p.m., we had 2 residents send in emails. They are, the first one is Sarah Hall at 37 South Prospect Street. She is voicing her opposition to the proposed installation of a Vietnam-era helicopter at the site of the Vietnam War Memorial in City Park. The other one is from Otto Wigan Jr. and Catherine Poropotic at 589 Dunn Urban Avenue, Hagerstown. They are also opposed to the placement of a 60-foot UH-1C helicopter at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Both of these emails will be attached to the online agenda tomorrow morning so that everyone has access to them.
Thank you. And we have a couple people signed up to speak today, so when you come forward, if you could state your name and address, and then you have 5 minutes. So first we have Mr. Cullymore Bay.
How you doing? Case on Cullymore Bay, 419 McDowell Avenue, Hagerstown, Maryland, 21740. Okay. Well, I'd like to speak today about a few things that I feel like Hagerstown could use in the community. And I'll start by saying that I have children of my own that's in the community, so I'm trying to, build something that's right for them to have in the next 10 to 15 years that they can look on right now, they look on to later and see that their dad did put in the work, and now they can put in the work and later on and move on in the future. And, we got to start somewhere and build it into making it something that's great that's out here. So I have notes right here. So the first thing I have is in Hagerstown we have a lot of restaurants, but we have no actual Spanish restaurants. That we have a lot of Jamaican restaurants, a lot of Mexican restaurants, a lot of soul food and actual Italian restaurants, and a bunch of restaurants. We won't have no actual authentic Spanish restaurants, and I feel like we deserve one, because I shouldn't have to travel all the way to New York to get actual Spanish food. the list that goes with it, I don't know if anybody understands Spanish, but bacalao, like arroz con pollo, patillos, and things like that, like, you know, like real Spanish food that, you know, that we can eat and enjoy out here. I got a business plan as far as it goes with prices and things on that, but that's just one idea. And also, we have no sneaker business out here. So for you to get a pair of sneakers out here, you have to go to the mall, and they took most of the sneakers businesses from the outlets. There's only, I think, Adidas left in the outlets. There's no, I don't think it's a Foot Locker or a Finish Line, and there's only a Foot Locker and a Finish Line in the mall. So I'm thinking about coming out here with a sneaker, some downtown. So you don't have to go as far as the mall. You can come right here downtown, get a pair of sneakers. My kids, everybody need a pair of sneakers. Anybody, you know. So I think that would be a good idea. Then I got another idea. In Frederick, and I think in DC, they have a virtual reality building. And I think right now, moving on to the future, that's where everything is going. Everything is about computers, everything is about virtual reality, you know, taking yourself from where you at right now and bringing yourself into another world. And if you could have like some type of, like a headset, some type of, it's like a gargle, like a virtual reality gargle thing that goes over your head, and it comes with 2 handles, and you could be anything you want. If you want to be a cop, if you want to be Spider-Man, if you want to be whoever you want to be, you could step from being who you are into a virtual world, and I think that would be real good for the kids, especially. And you know, I mean, what are we doing here? This is what we need to be doing. We need to do things for the kids. And so, and then the last thing I have is in the city they have bikes and they have scooters. Out here in Hagerstown, we have no bikes, no scooters, and I was trying to get a hold of Bird Scooter Rentals, and for the community to have some type of way of getting around, like little scooters, and like summertime, even in wintertime, for you to get around from, say you coming from downtown and you want to go to North High, electric scooter. You pay $1 or $2, and now you got an easy way from getting from downtown to North High, and it's fun, easy. And I've been in Baltimore down at the harbor, and them little scooters, they're telling you, they're fun. If you ever get on one of them scooters, it's amazing.
How fun are they, Emily?
Yeah, Emily, you should know.
Yeah, them scooters is amazing.
The mayor loves this.
Yeah, I already went down to, I went down to the community in economics and development, and so far, all 4 of my ideas, they're on board. They like my ideas. The guy I was talking down there to, he referred me to another guy, I think his name is Derek, I'm not sure, but, so, I guess I don't want to waste up too much time, but those are my ideas, and my agenda is, like I said, is for my kids. I feel like if they see me going out every day, hardworking, doing the things that I feel that's helping the community, if they see me doing it, then they're gonna follow my lead. And so, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I was a little nervous a little bit, but
You did a great job.
Yeah.
that should be it.
Thank you very much.
Did a great
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job, yes.
All right, up next, we have Deb Kepler.
Hi, my name is Deb Kepler. I live at 125 South Prospect Street for more than 30 years, and I'm the current president of the Historic Heights Neighborhoods First Group, which includes South Prospect and parts of Walnut Street and Summit Avenue. I'm here with other group members who don't think Hagerstown Park is the appropriate location for an aging Vietnam-era helicopter. Our opposition is to the proposed location of a helicopter to memorialize those killed in the war, not to efforts to keep alive the memory of those killed. The park is simply not an appropriate place for a 50-foot long plus symbol of war perched atop a pylon along Walnut Street. Wouldn't it be more appropriate to situate such an imposing structure at a veterans post or at an airport? We kind of wonder if this is a somber memorial or if this is the beginning of a destination war museum attraction or something. The park is a peaceful place. The Vietnam Veterans Organization itself etched words in granite at the memorial itself, saying that its purpose is not to memorialize war. We think placing an aging war relic at the site would memorialize war. Yes, Huey helicopters taxied troops around Vietnam, but they were also symbols of war. They were used as gunships for years. They were used to spray Agent Orange on swaths of land in Vietnam, leaving mothers to deal with birth defects from their children and service members here in the States to be ill. One Hagerstown woman opposed to putting the helicopter in City Park pleaded with the city saying, please reconsider the pastoral and peaceful nature of this area before introducing a very large implement of war into it. Those were the words of a woman in the North End, not someone in our neighborhood who would see it every day out their back windows. Moreover, Vietnam-era helicopters displayed in many communities have been damaged by vandals who have caused thousands of dollars in damage. When repair money for these parts that are hard to come by isn't readily available, people end up visiting a desecrated memorial, which is the exact opposite of the experience that the veterans are providing there today. I have found reports of damage in cities in Ohio, Missouri, New Mexico, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, and Kansas. A helicopter installed at the memorial also, I think, runs counter to the city's own existing preservation ordinance to safeguard the historical and cultural heritage of Hagerstown. It runs counter to the city's efforts to preserve the more than 100-year-old city park and nearby Hager House, and the city's stated goal of increasing home ownership in downtown. People invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy and preserve homes in historic districts, knowing that these areas are protected from drastic change or development. Why would someone want to buy a house on the west side of South Prospect Street when their morning view is a full-size war helicopter suspended on a pedestal, and their evening view is disrupted by even more extremely bright lights to illuminate an aircraft? Lastly, I want to emphasize that this is not a position against the Vietnam veterans. I have never fought in a war myself. I do, however, know a lot about the sacrifices of U.S. service members. I spent 3 years, 2010, 11, and 12, living in Afghanistan as a news reporter covering the U.S. war there. Troops were dying so frequently then we had to tally the deaths on a chalkboard in the newsroom in Kabul. The group members started talking with others, and we quickly realized that it wasn't just the people on Prospect Street or the South End that were opposed. Just a few days ago, we started collecting names to see how many we get. We weren't trying to run a petition at all, but we just sort of started writing down names. And in just a few days, we have quite a few. So I'll stop there and let a few other members of our group express their concerns. I have the group of names here that in case anybody would like to see them, and there's one for each member here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have, up next we have Delia Slinsky.
Good evening. Hi.
Good evening.
I'm Delia Zelinsky. I live at 278 South Prospect Street, which is in the historic Heights district of Hagerstown. My street is parallel to Walnut Street, where the Vietnam Memorial currently stands. Members of my family, including my stepfather, served proudly in Vietnam, and I am proud of their service. I oppose the placement of a 50-foot military helicopter next to the current memorial in the park. I use this park on a daily basis. I love the new paths and the newly planted trees. Why does this memorial need a helicopter? What does it add? I don't believe the placement of a helicopter will add to the beauty of the park or to the reflective nature of the current memorial. The memorial, as it stands now, invites one to sit on one of its benches and reflect upon the service and sacrifice these veterans made. The addition of an enormous military machine would change the atmosphere, making it ostentatious and like a theme park. I suspect there are more appropriate settings for a helicopter, like at an airport or a museum. Veteran memorials in Washington, D.C. do not include military warfare and machines. They are beautiful, moving tributes which attract visitors, but do not distract from the underlying message or the surrounding nature. I implore our mayor and city council to carefully consider the opinions of residents of park surrounding neighborhoods, as well as frequent visitors to Hager Park and City Park. Please preserve the park's natural beauty as it is now. Please leave the existing memorial as it is now. It is enough to invite visitors, hold ceremonies, and honor our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have Mr. Stan Brown.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Stan Brown, 725 Beechwood Drive. I was here on November 23rd describing a situation with Colonel Henry Kidd Douglas Drive on Sharpsburg Pike. Explained the situation with the naming of that road, which is after a Confederate officer. We all know that Confederate symbols are being dismantled and taken down across the country. I realize that the road is in county jurisdiction, but it's so close to adjacent to the city limits of Hagerstown. I think it's a reflection on Hagerstown as well. When I was here on November 23rd, I asked the council to consider adopting or developing a resolution to send to the county commissioners asking that the road be renamed. So I'm here today this evening to ask you if you're taking that under consideration and if you're doing anything about that request.
It is not something that we have discussed since then, no. Our agendas are kind of set ahead of time, but it's something that if there was council support, we could write a letter to the county. It wouldn't be a resolution or anything like that. It would just be a letter of request.
Okay. Would that be something that would be placed on your agenda for a future meeting that I could come back forward to? Is that how that would work?
Yeah, it's something that we can discuss.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, last, I think, signed up, we have Mr. Winslow Wheeler.
Good evening, happy holidays. I'm Winslow Wheeler. I live with my wife at 213 South Prospect Street. We live, pay taxes, and enjoy Hagerstown. I'm here to support the comments of Deb Kepler and Delia Zelinsky and the 2 emails you got about the helicopter in the city park. It's a beautiful memorial. Don't mess it up. I look outside my back window to that memorial every morning. I'm having my coffee and reading my paper. That memorial is a credit to the veterans and to the park and to the neighborhood, I believe. changing the memorial to what is looking like a museum not only changes the character of the memorial, but it changes the character of the park. And that's not something that was in the original proposal for the memorial, and it's something that I hope you all will consider. I appreciated the comments of several of you when this was first discussed. I watched from afar the experiment with the balloons to see what kind of imposition the helicopter might impose. I don't think that did any such thing. I think the helicopter will change the character, as I say, of both the memorial and of the park. And thank you very much.
Thank you. That was all we had signed up to speak today. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? All right. Moving on, we have the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, hereby move that all the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Shelley. Any conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of an ordinance amending City Code, Chapter 64, modification of electrical registration and fee structure.
Madam Mayor, I hereby move for the mayor and city council to approve an ordinance to amend Chapter 64, building construction, to modify the registration and fee structure for electrical license holder registrations. The modification would create registration fees for the city of Hagerstown journeyman electrician and apprentice electrician. This proposed modification to the registration and fee structure is due to a change in State of Maryland Board of Electricians requirements.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of a resolution for assignment and assumption of lease between JB&J's LLC and HMS Hagerstown LLC.
Madam Mayor, I hereby move the mayor and city council approve the attached resolution authorizing the entry into an assignment and assumption of lease with GB&J's LLC and HMS Hagerstown LLC.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of a resolution license agreement for public art on West Lee Street.
Madam Mayor, hereby move the approval resolution authorizing the execution of a license agreement granted by Lee Street Holdings LLC, permitting the installation and stipulating the long-term maintenance of the public sculpture by artists Carol Jarvis and Gregory Gannon on their property on the south side of Lee Street adjacent to the cultural trail.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of a resolution grant agreement with the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority for design of improvements to the Hager House Visitor Center.
Madam Mayor, hereby move to approve a resolution for the execution of a grant agreement between the City of Hagerstown and Maryland Heritage Areas Authority that provides $25,000 for designing exhibits to renovate the Visitor Center at the Jonathan Hager House Museum in City Park.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of resolution to enter into an amendment to water line easement agreement with Downsville Lot A1 LLC, Downsville Lot A2 LLC, and Downsville Lot A3 LLC, Maryland Limited Liability Companies, their successors and assigns.
Madam Mayor, hereby move for the approval of resolution of execution of the attached amendment to water line easement agreement to relocate the existing 16-inch water line, grant and convey a perpetual and permanent 20-foot wide easement as shown on Exhibit C in the attached agreement, vacate the existing easement, enter into a pre-annexation agreement for Lot 2 as a condition of site plan approval for Lot 2. The parties understand and agree that the existing water line currently exists as a conduit through the Downsville Lot A-1 LLC property, serving only adjacent properties, and it does not currently provide public water service to the property. The provisions of this agreement, the performance of the design, review, and installation contemplated hereunder resolve any uncertainty as to these properties vis-a-vis the June 29, 1966 agreement with Potomac Edison Company, and shall provide water to Lot 1.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of application for fiscal year 2023 program open space.
Madam Mayor. Go ahead.
Madam Mayor, I would move for mayor and council approval of an application to Washington County requesting FY23 POS development funding for improvements to the city's recreational facilities. POS share listed as follows: Fairgrounds Park play equipment, $108,000; Park play equipment and amenities, $49,500; and the Fairgrounds stable roof replacement for $90,000.
Second.
Any discussion?
It's stable, right?
All in favor?
Very stable, yeah.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of engagement agreement with Kane, Wilburn, and Stone, PA.
Madam Mayor, I hereby move for mayor and council approval of an engagement agreement with Kane, Wilburn, and Stone, PA. The scope of this engagement is the representation of the city in the 101103105 East Washington Trust et al. Versus City of Hagerstown Circuit Court Case Number C21 CV-20-000328. The term of this engagement began on August 20th, 2020, and will culminate through the conclusion of the pending proceedings in the circuit court. These are very big words.
Second.
I was like, I've never heard that word.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Amendment to fiscal year 2022 Cdbg Annual Action Plan, creation of new activity for Wheaton Park enhancements.
Madam Mayor, hereby move for the mayor and city council to amend the FY22 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan in order to create a new activity, Wheaton Park Enhancements. $318,469 of Cdbg funding will be allocated for this activity for various enhancements, improvements to Wheaton Park. Details of the amendment are attached.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Amendment 2 of the Memorandum of Understanding for the Potomac Street at Howard Street Signal Improvement Safe Routes to School Infrastructure Project.
Madam Mayor, hereby move for the approval of Amendment 2 to the Memorandum of Understanding with the Maryland Department of Transportation for the Potomac Street at Howard Street Signal Improvement Safe Routes to School Infrastructure Project. This amendment extends the construction completion date to December 31, 2022.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Amendment 1 to Memorandum of Understanding for the design of Marsh Run Multi-Use Trail.
Madam Mayor, I hereby move for the approval of Amendment 1 to the Memorandum of Understanding with the Maryland Department of Transportation for the Marsh Run Multi-Use Trail Project. This amendment extends the design completion date to October 3rd, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah.
All right, Mayor, Council comments. Councilman Elshire?
Just a brief comment to the gentleman that spoke at the beginning of public comments this evening. I will certainly not try to mispronounce your name. I spent some time growing up on McDowell, I think 425 to be exact. My dad was working hard. I was a young boy then, so I certainly understand your comments. I get to see him come home for work, and we were not there real long. I can remember a time that he came home from work, and I was peeling the asphalt shingles off the side of the place we were renting because I thought the house was peeling, and I think we were shortly thereafter asked to leave. So I hope that your children take more care and heed you better than I did as a boy at that moment. Just a memorandum.
Thank you. Councilman Brucci?
I thought I was mad growing up.
I broke 11 windows in that house.
Oh, my Lord, there was only 10. How'd you do that? Anyway, yeah, mine are going to be short and sweet. I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. And since we won't see you before the new year, the start to a joyous and prosperous new year for everybody. thank you for the comments tonight about the Vietnam Veteran Memorials Park. Much to think about, truly. So, appreciate that. And again, Merry Christmas.
Thanks. Councilmember Burnett?
So I have some close friends and family members that are currently dealing with COVID, and I just want to give my prayers to those impacted by this still very serious illness. And with that in mind, please be safe and have a Merry Christmas, and keep your gatherings as small as possible for a little while. Thank you.
Councilmember Martinez?
And so I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Collymore Bay for bringing your children. That is amazing, just to come in, bring them into City Hall, and then show them in the way that you speak up and that you want a safer community, you have to go out and get it yourself. So thank you and salute to you. And everybody have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
It's always interesting when I get to go last because everyone says, basically the same thing, but.
Planned that way.
What?
Planned that way.
Is it? I know. So then I keep my mouth shut. I get it. But Mr. Collymore Bay, I appreciate all of the ideas to come in here and say all the things that are on your mind at home, and you walk around town and you drive around town, you see potential, and I promise you that every single person up here on this dais feels that too. And there are so many people in the city of Hagerstown that are working really, really hard to give your kids exactly the experience that they want, and your ideas are phenomenal, so thank you very much. And like Councilmember Martinez said, bring your children, bring your family, and showing them setting a good example, look, if you want something, go get it, try for it. So I appreciate that, really, sincerely. And Merry Christmas to all of you, and to all of you, and Happy New Year also.
Thank you. First thing, I have a request for a letter of support. I think Danny may have put it in you guys' mailbox for HGC, or maybe your email box. No? Okay, it was a request for a letter of support for HGC. They're going to expand some of their operations out on Northern Avenue where Gold's Gym used to be. So they're applying for grants and are requesting a letter of support. Are you guys okay with that?
Absolutely.
I'm okay with
Yes.
All right, thank you. Next, I just want to thank Western Enterprise Fire Company on, what was that, Thursday night? Friday night. Councilmember Burnett and I went there along with Chief Lohr for their Christmas celebration, and they gave us check one of their contribution toward our new fire truck. So much appreciated. We appreciate their partnership and also their hospitality that evening, and it was great food, which is always a plus. And Friday evening after that, I had the luxury of going to the lodge for Miss Nicole James' 34th Christmas Extravaganza. And for those of you who don't know who Nicole James is, she is a female impersonator here in our community who has done a lot over the last 34 years. She was Miss Gay Maryland several years ago. And in the 80s, when there wasn't really a lot of people talking about the AIDS and HIV epidemic, she used her talents as a stage performer to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars to help people who had AIDS and HIV to make sure their bills were paid and they had medication necessary. When 9/11 happened, she did benefit shows to raise money for the people who had needs after 9/11 and Hurricane Katrina. And here locally, every year for 34 years, they've donated the proceeds of her Christmas extravaganza to places like Children in Need, Hagerstown Hopes, Community Free Clinic, Sanmar Children's Home. So just super incredible. So I was able to present a proclamation for her. We declared December 17th Nicole James Day. And of course it wasn't here, so I just wanted to acknowledge that and all the incredible things she does for our community. Pretty cool that someone puts on a big production like that every year and donates the money right back into Hagerstown and Washington County. So I appreciate you, Miss Nicole James. And lastly, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. We made it, thank God, through 2021. We thought making it through 2020 we were going to be done, but here we are. So let's all hope that 2022 goes better than the last 2 years have been. And with that, hail to the Washington football team. We are adjourned.